Okay, so hi everyone. I recently did this flower bag, and I had some people come into my DM to ask for the tutorial, but unfortunately I won't be able to do the bag in its entirety. But I think the most important part that people wanted to know was how to do the petals. So I'm just going to demonstrate on how I made the do a video for how I made the petals, and hopefully you can continue from there and complete the rest of the bag. So if you're new to my channel, hi, I am Ezra Creative, and thank you for joining this channel. Hopefully you're gonna like, gonna subscribe to my channel and comment where necessary. And I guess we should dive right to it then. So I'm going to be using this pink macrame yarn. This is a cotton yarn. It's 3mm. I'll be using a 4mm crochet pin, and then I have my lighter, and I have my scissors, and I think that's basically all I need. So in order to do this bag, we're going to start by doing the base of the bag, and we do the base afterwards, then we're going to do the petals on the base. So you're going to, this is my yarn. You use your 2 fingers, twine, right, and you're gonna have something like this. Okay, then I'll use this, and then I grab the yarn above it, right, and then I take this, and this is my first loop. So when I remove my finger, this is what actually I'm going to be having. Okay, so I'm going to yarn, make another stitch. So my first I'm going to make my first 2 stitches, as you can see, and then since I'm going to be doing a double crochet, okay, all through, I'm going to yarn over. When I yarn over, I pick up my thread, my first crochet, I allow these 2 spots, and then I crochet again. I yarn over, I do a double crochet. Okay, so I yarn over. All right, so 1 2 3 4, so I'm going to do 12 of these. 5 6 7 2 4 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. So this is my 12 double crochet that I've done. Then I pull the strand, okay, then I have my circle. Now this is the first row. I'm going to do 6 rows, okay. So when I'm done with the first row, I come here, the first stitch on the other side of the row, I do a slip stitch, okay. So for each stitch now, I'm going to make 2 double crochets on each stitch, 2 2 2 2 2 2 all through. So this will be considered as my first stitch, my second stitch on the first loop, yarn over, okay. On the same loop, I do another double crochet, okay. On the third, I yarn over, okay, then I do another one on the third as well. So it's going to, in a total, we're going to have 22 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to go around and it's going to be 22 stitches. Remember we started with 12. The next circle, rather than 24, we're going to have 22 and so on. So let me complete that face. Okay, so here I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. And then I come to the very first stitch here. All right, as you can see. Then I do a slip stitch. Okay, I make 2 knots. All right, and then on this same where I did the slip stitch, I do another double crochet. But now remember, the first was 12, the second was 2, 2, 2 on each loop, that gives 22, and now the third is going to be 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 all through. Okay, then okay, let's just go ahead. So this is 2. I'm going to do 1 double crochet here. I do 2 double crochet here, 1 double crochet, the next 2 double crochet, the next 1 double crochet, next 2 double crochet. Okay, next 1 double crochet, other 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. So I'm going to do like that until the last, and the last should be 1 double crochet in the last row. All right, so I've done the third row, and this is the last loop I have here. So I'm going to do my 1 double crochet, and then I close the circle. So I'm still going to close the circle with a slip stitch. All right, here, I don't know if you can see because I have here, okay, and then I have here. So this is what I use to close the circle with a double crochet, with 2 double crochets, and then I come here, I'll begin my 1 from here. So once I close the circle, this is what I have, slip stitch, and then 2 stitches above. Okay, so now this is the first row, the second, the third. So the fourth is going to be 2 double crochet, single, single, double, single, single, double, single, single. Remember this previous one was double, single, double, single. Now it's going to be double, single, single, double, single, single, double, single, single, just like that. So here I make my second double crochet. Okay, then I come here, my first single double crochet, and here my second single double crochet, and then the next is going to be 2 double crochet. Okay, so the next will be single, single, and double. Okay, so we're going to continue with single, single, and double. All right, So you're gonna have single, single, and double. Okay, so I'm going to continue this to the end, and remember at this end I'm going to be ending with a single crochet as well, single, one double crochet as well. Okay, so I have here double, and then my last two are going to be single, 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 right, and then we close our circle with a slip stitch. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the 5th row we're going to be having double, single, 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 double, single, 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 double, single, 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 double. So we're going to start with double, and then 1, 2, 3, okay, single, and then a double. Okay, so you're going to continue 1, 2, 3, and a double. So we're going to equally do that to the end. 1, 2, 3, and double. 1, 2, 3, and double, right to the end. Okay, so we have our last double here, and then we're going to end it with 3 singles. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then now we can close our circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 6th row. So the 6th row is going to be double, single, 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 singles, double. So the more the row increases, the more the single also increases by 1. So that's how I actually work. So every time you go to a new row, the single increases by 1. So we're gonna here double, and here single, single, 2, 3, 4, and double. So here 4 singles, here 3 singles, here 2 singles, here 1 single. That's how it works. Okay, so we're gonna have single, 2, 3, 4, and a double. So we're gonna have again 1, 2, 3, 4, and a double. Okay, so we're going to continue to the end. Okay, so we have our last double, and then we end with our 4 singles and close the circle. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we close our circle with a slip stitch. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to make the last row okay, which is the 7th row. So we're going to start with our double, single, okay. We're going to start with double. Then we'll have how many singles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singles, and then now a double. Here we had 4 singles and a double. Here we're going to be having 5 singles and a double, okay. So we start with our double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our double, okay. We're gonna have again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our double. Okay, so we're going to do this to the end and then we'll be back. All right. Okay, so this is the last double crochet, 2 double crochet that I have here. So we're going to complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singles, okay, and then we'll close the cycle. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, and then we close our circle. So we're done with the base. This is how the base looks like. So we'll be having 2 of these. Now mind you, some people will say this base is not perfect, maybe because of this imperfection, but I'm not worried about this because we're going to do petals on top and it will close up the imperfection. So maybe except when you're doing a base that is going to be visible, then there's another way that you get to do this that eliminates this imperfection, okay. But regardless, since we're going to do petals on this, then this is just as okay. All right, so we're done with the base. We're going to make 2 of this. That you are going to make 2 of this if you want it, if you want to use it to make a complete flower. Now we're going to go ahead with doing the petals, okay. So for the first loop that I have here, as you can see, I have these strands that are visible for each loop. I don't know if you can see them. Let's see. These strands that are visible for each loop. That is what we're going to be using to make our petals. Okay, all of these strands that are visible. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using to be making our petals with. So we're going to start with the first strand, which is this one. This is the first strand. Okay, so going to insert our yarn here, and then we'll make our first stitch. We'll make our second stitch because we're doing but a double crochet on this. So for the first loop that we have, we're going to make 3 double crochets. This is the first one we've already done. This will be the second one in the same loop, okay, and then this will be the third one in the same loop. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to come to the next loop. All right, we yarn over the first double crochet, the second double crochet, and then the third double crochet. So we're going to have in total 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and then we tie the knot, and we tie the knot 1 2. At times I can go 3, but 2 is okay, or you can do 1 2 3. This is what you have, and then you turn on the other side. When you turn on the other side, this is already counted as 1 double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, you do the second double crochet in the same loop. So for the rest of the loop, you're going to do double crochets as well, 2 double crochet on each loop. So at the end of the day, we're going to have 12 up. So the first was 6, the second is going to be 12. So we yarn over, we do 1 2, that's 4. We do 1 2, that is 6. We do 1 2, that is 8. We do 1 2, that is 10. Okay, and then the last one 1 2, that is 12. Okay, so here we are, this is what we have. All right, so we're going to count 4 loops. We're going to skip 4 loops. Okay, look at, we have this. So here we're going to have 1 2 3 4. We skip this. Okay, and then we come to the 5th. When we come to the 5th, we're going to do a slip stitch. Okay, and then we close the stitch. So when we do close the stitch, we turn around again, and then we're going to do slip stitches all through right to the end. But now the secret is, don't try to make it very tight, because if you do the slip stitch tight, it's not going to really present the form of the petals the way it should come out. So if I'm going to do my slip stitch, I'm going to ensure that the slip stitch is really loose. Okay, so when you turn over, you're going to come your first slip stitch, 1, all right, 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, okay, and 9, right, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so this is what we're gonna have. Okay, so this is our first petal that we've done. Now after our first petal, we're going to skip another 4 loop. 1 2 3 4. We're going to skip 1 2 3, and on the 4th loop, we're going to insert another 3 double crochets. Okay, and then on this last loop, we're going to insert another 3 double crochets. So that's going to give us another 6. So we come here, we do our slip stitch and 2 extra stitches. Okay, that's the first double crochet. Now we have the second, and then we have the third, right, and then we come the next loop, we have the 4th, we have the 5th, and then we have the 6th. Okay, and then we close. We do 2 extra stitches, that's going to be 3. We turn. Okay, we turn, we yarn over. It's going to be double to make it 12. So this ending is already the first, so this is 2. The next loop we're gonna have 3 4. Okay, the next loop we're gonna have 5, 6. The next loop we're gonna have 7, 8. The next loop we're gonna have 9, okay, and 10 in the same loop, and then the next we're gonna have 11 and 12. Okay, all right, so this is what we have. So after having this, we're going to come now to the bottom of the first petal. The bottom of the first petal, this is what we have here. This is the bottom of the first petal. We're going to come at the bottom and we're going to do a slip stitch to connect the second petal to the first petal, and then we're going to close the chain. Then we turn. We now do our slip stitch right to the end, just as we did for the first. Ensure that that stitch is loose. Okay, so we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. All right, so this is the second petal. Now we're going to connect the second petal to the first petal again in order to close it up. You know, it's like when a flower blooms, the inside is usually closed up, and then it blooms as the side widens and it opens. So we're going to connect it here, okay, with a slip stitch. All right, and then we close the loop. So this is what we're gonna have. So this is our first 2 petals that we've already made, and that is for the first row. Now we're going to continue on the second row already. So on the second row, we're going to have our first loop. We need our 3 double crochets on the first loop. All right, we can connect with the first slip stitch, then 1, 2, that's 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now on the second loop we're gonna have another 3, 1, 2 and 3. This is what we have, a total of 6. We close the stitch, we add 2 more extra stitches, and then we turn the other side. So when we turn the other side, we start with our 2 double crochets on each stitch. Is going to make it a total of 12. All right, so this is 4, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, 11 and 12. Okay, so this is our third petal, and once we do that, we come and connect it to the second petal, the bottom of the second petal, as we did for the first. Okay, so we connect it here. This is the bottom. You connect it here with a slip stitch. We close the stitch and then you turn, and now you do our slip stitch all through. Okay, so this is our third petal. So In order to do the fourth petal, we're going to skip 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we do on the 5th loop, we're going to do the same thing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th loop, we will do the same thing. Have a slip stitch, 1, 2. We have 3 here. Okay, that is 3. All right, so you're going to do another 3. 1, 2, and 3. We close, do 2 extra, return, double crochet to make it 12. Okay, so when we're done with the 12, we come below the 3rd stitch and we link it to the 3rd stitch with a slip stitch. We link it to the 3rd petal, 3rd petal with a slip stitch. And then we turn, we continue our slip stitch. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna skip 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, slip stitch. All right, and then 1, 2, 3, 6 as usual. 1, 2, 3. We close, do 2 extras, return, double, 2 double crochets to make it 12. Okay, now we link it to the 4th petal below with a slip stitch. We close the stitch, all right, and then we continue with our slip stitch. Okay, so we're going to do this until we exhaust the second row. Okay, so I think we're just left with one petal, and then the second row is done, is completed. So I'm going to come back after completing the second row. Okay, we always consider this point as our point of beginning, as our initial point. All right, so the second row is going to end here, and then the third row begins from here. All right, so that's how we're going to go. So I will complete the second row, and then I'll come back. All right. Okay, so I'm done with the second row. This is the last petal on the second row. So I'm going to skip 2, 4, and when I skip 2, 4, I enter immediately into the third row. So I'm going to do the slip stitch, all right, and not twice, and I'm already in the third row. So this is what it looks like. Now in the third row, remember on the first and second row we used 2 loops of 3 stitches, that made it 6. Now on the third and fourth row, we're going to use 3 loops, and we're going to make a total of 8 stitches instead of 6. Okay, so in the beginning of this flower bag, the inner circle is going to be smaller, but as it extends outside, it becomes larger with larger petals. That's what makes the beauty of it. So on the third and the fourth loop, we're going to be using 3. On the third and the fourth row, we're going to be using 3 loops, and with a total of 8 stitches, 8 and 16. Okay, so I've already done my first stitch here, first double crochet. So this is 2, this is 3. Now I'm going to move to the second loop. This will be 4 and 5. Okay, and then I move to the last loop, which should give me 6, 7 and 8. Okay, now I'm going to close and do 2 more. I turn, and then my 2 double crochets on each stitch. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Okay, all right, so this is what the petals look like. You see that it's slightly larger than this, and then we go to the bottom of the previous petal and we do our slip stitch. We close the stitch, and then we do our slip stitch up through. Okay, okay, so this is our next petal. Remember we're on the third row, so we're gonna skip 2, 4 and the 5th. All right, as usual, we do our slip stitch. This is our first stitch, 2, 3, all right, 4, 5, okay, 6, 7, and 8. All right, we close the stitch, we make 2 extra and return. So we have our 8. All right, we're going to do the same thing as we did here, and so we're gonna have double. It's going to be 16 up, all right. And then I'll slip stitch. Okay, so this is what we have. So we're going to continue 2, 4, 5 for the same thing. So we're going to follow this pattern for the 3rd and then the 4th row. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We complete the 3rd row and then we go to the 4th row, we do the same thing. So I'm going to come back when we're already on the 5th row and show you what we're going to be doing on the 5th and the 6th row. Okay. Okay, so hi guys, we're back. We have done the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th row. Okay, so now we're on the 5th row, and then the last row will be the 6th row. So the 5th row, now remember the 1st and 2nd row we had 6 stitches all together. The 1st row we had 6 stitches. 1st and 2nd row we had six stitches with 2 loops. The 3rd and the 4th row we had 3 loops with 8 stitches. Now the 5th and the 6th row we're going to be having still 3 loops but with 9 stitches. Okay, so we're going to increase the petals a little more. So we're going to be having 3 loops but with 9 stitches. All right. Okay, so we're going to have our slip stitch 1, 2. That's what we do on the 5th row. Okay, we have the 1st stitch, the 2nd, the 3rd stitch. Okay, now we're on the 2nd loop, which you're gonna have the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, and then we're on the 3rd loop. Then we're going to have the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. So you're gonna close the stitch. We add 2 extras. Okay, then we turn. So two double stitches, 2 double crochet on each stitch. That's going to be a total of 18. All right. Okay, so we can do our 1st stitch, our 2nd, 2, okay, 4, 5, 4, 6, I mean 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. All right. Okay, then we come to the previous petals. We attach it to the base. We close, we slip stitch, and then slip stitch all around. So you see that the petals here are larger than the previous. So we're going to do a slip stitch. Okay, so this is what we have. All right, as you can see, it's turning out just okay. All right, so we're going to do the next petal, 2, 4, and then the 5th stitch, slip stitch, the first 2, 3, okay, and then we have 4, 5, 6, and the last loop we have 3 more to make it 9, 6, 7, 7, 8, and 9. We close the stitch, we add 2 more, and we turn. All right, our double stitches on each a double crochet on each stitch is going to be a total of 18 as the previous. So this is 2, it's already 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, so we join it to the previous petal with a slip stitch. All right, and then I'll slip stitch to the end. Okay, so this is what we have. So we're going to continue. We're going to do the same thing on the fifth row and the same thing on the sixth row. So when that is completed, we're gonna come back, all right? And then we'll see how the finishing look of the petals are, okay? But so far, so good. This is how it looks like. And it's coming up perfectly well, all right? Okay. Okay, so guys, this is the final result. This is what we have as petals. And I hope that this tutorial is very helpful, and I hope to see your bags completed and ready to be used. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and click on the notification below for more tutorials like this. Thank you.